Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting with me, Carl Froch. I've got to just point out the t-shirt situation. This is a little CP UK Cobra Puma golf attire. They sent me this. I'm teeing off in 2 hours. That's the reason I've got it. Thanks to Puma, by the way. The last little t-shirt I got was hiding at the bottom of my cupboard in my bedroom. And I thought I'd just stick it on and do a quick channel. I didn't realise it would get so much attention, stroke abuse. People were giving me what year it was made, what the brand is, referencing the Carpe Diem on there because that was Anthony Joshua's pro debut. I couldn't give a what the t-shirt was. I'm at my second home here in Spain and I wear whatever I want. You're lucky I had a t-shirt on. But anyway, let's get on with today's bit of news for you.
So it's just been announced Anthony Joshua will be facing Robert Helenius.
Yeah, Robert Helenius, we've been waiting for the late replacement. Week's notice, so well done to Eddie Hearn for this one. He's managed to pull Helenius out the bag. Robert Helenius does exactly what he says on the tin. He's quite big and strong. He has lost, I think, 4 times in his career. 3 of them are by knockout. He's gone the distance more notably with a guy, Dillian Whyte. We know who he is. We know what's going on with him at the minute. We're still waiting to hear what the outcome of that failed drugs test is. But he went the distance. Dillian Whyte beat him quite convincingly on points over 12 rounds. He's been knocked out a couple of times. More recently by El Sparco master, the round 1 KO artist, Deontay Wilder. He knocked him out in the first round. So Helenius got chinned in round 1 against Wilder. So you would think that Anthony Joshua would be able to put on a bit of a display and put on a great performance. It's a good fight for Joshua, for a late replacement. I did think that, well, I did suggest him stepping in with Hrgovic, which was maybe a little bit unfair for me. But as a boxing fan, I just think that's a fight that AJ can win. But it'd be a tough fight for him and he'll need to show that he's got a lot to his game and show that his mind's right by going in there and proving a point with Helenius. But business-wise and risk-wise, it's pointless. So I can see why that fight didn't happen, his management team, and why Eddie Hearn and maybe AJ didn't fancy that one. But anyway, here we are. Robert Helenius, Anthony Joshua. That's happening on Saturday at the O2 Arena because Dillian Whyte failed a drugs test. He's now stepped in. I don't think the fight is now pay-per-view on DAZN, which I think is right. I don't think it should be. And yeah, it's basically going to be just a fight where Anthony Joshua can relax, enjoy himself, but he needs to be sure to put on a performance and show the fans and show the future opponents that he means business. So I'd like to see him box and move, show his skills, and then finish the job. I expect to see him get Robert Helenius out of there before the final bell rings.
So you do think there's pressure on AJ to get a convincing win?
Massive pressure on him. Not so much. Well, yeah, I suppose he does need a convincing win. I've just said it there. He needs to go in there. He needs to outbox him, look good doing it, and then if he can, put the finishing touches together and get Helenius out of there. I mean, what AJ's talking about maybe fighting Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder El Sparco'd him in 1 round, so he's not going to beat that. But he could have a good boxing little session while he's in there, 3 or 4 rounds, enjoy himself, take his time, work on the stuff he's going to be working on with his new trainer, and then look to get the finish. Let's not beat this guy, Robert Helenius, on points. Listen, AJ, if you're watching this, let's not beat him on points. Let's not go on the back foot too much. Let's not be too negative. Let's do that for 3 or 4 rounds, find your feet, and then put a show on. Close the show. Cobra style, Cobra Butte style. I'll come on off the back of a loss reward, jump straight in there with Butte in my very next fight for the IBF World title and smash him to bits. Let's show a bit of this. Come on, let's get on him and get the job done.
So if AJ does lose, where does he go from here?
AJ won't lose. I don't even think Helenius. Well, listen, everyone's got a puncher's chance, but I think if AJ loses, I think he knows as well as anybody else knows, including myself, that his career is over. So that holds a little bit of pressure because I always say boxing's a 2-horse race and anything can happen. But really, Anthony Joshua's far superior to Helenius. He needs to go in there and do what I've already said he needs to do.
Helenius did fight last weekend, though, which he did win.
Yeah, he's had a little win, but you know, these levels to boxing and the fights he's been winning are of a level where you would expect somebody who's capable of fighting. I'll say capable as in they know how to stand up straight, they can throw punches and they can take a punch to a degree, but they're never going to win a world title. So every time Robert Helenius has stepped up and had a significant fight, he's been beat quite convincingly. Even Dillian Whyte fight was quite a one-sided. If you look at the scores, I think it was 117, 110, and it was quite a wide score by Whyte. And Whyte sometimes goes into first gear and stays in there and just does what he needs to do. So we know what Helenius is. It's a late replacement. Fair play to Eddie Hearn for holding the show together. But this fight is not going to set the world alight. But it's an opportunity for Anthony Joshua to do the business. So yeah, the reason I think it's important to give Eddie Hearn some praise is because, can you imagine, his phone's been ringing off the hook. I can fight AJ, I'm capable, I can take him 12 rounds. They all want that payday. But Eddie Hearn has got to make the right decision. He's got to look after Anthony Joshua. He's got to keep the zone happy, the network. They've got to make sure they're showing a credible opponent, a credible fight for this occasion. I know it's now not pay-per-view, so he's had that to deal with. So there'll be financial implications for Anthony Joshua. And he's also offered the fans that have paid the money to see AJ Whyte a full refund, which I think that's admirable. You know, that has to be applauded. So I just want to say, fair play, Eddie Hearn. You've held it together. You've got Helenius stepping in as a late replacement, but it's still a fight worth watching, although we know that Anthony Joshua should be doing the business. But yeah, that's all good, mate. Well done. And if you are watching the fight, enjoy it.
So Jake Paul beat Nate Diaz on Saturday. What did you think of it?
Yeah, Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. It was Jake Paul basically following Nate Diaz around the ring, missing with shots, landing the odd shots, looking like a bad novice, a real amateur. I felt sorry for Nate Diaz. He looked drunk when he was in there. I don't know if he was messing around or if he was drunk. I don't want to suggest someone's getting in the ring intoxicated on alcohol, but he looked terrible. It's amazing, fascinating actually. Our top MMA fighter can be so dangerous and so good at fighting in the cage, but then when they get in the boxing ring, it just shows how difficult boxing is. The art of pugilism. He was like slow, his accuracy wasn't there, his distance, his timing, everything was so bad, and Jake Paul still went the distance with him. Jake Paul couldn't do anything with him. He was winging away, throwing hooks, landing with the inside of his glove. I know he dropped him a couple of times, but what an absolute terrible fight to watch. And I did waste my time and watch it, and I don't know why. I'm always fascinated by this kind of level of boxing for whatever reason, and because it's Jake Paul, I do like to give him a bit of stick, but I don't even need any sort of new ammunition because people can see what he's capable of in the boxing ring, and he can't box. So yeah, I wasn't impressed. They're talking about him fighting. Who was he going to fight next?
So Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. Yeah, that's not a bad fight. Conor McGregor's also used to in the boxing ring. We saw that against Floyd Mayweather. But Conor McGregor may give him a bit more of a fight, but I think he's too small for him. Although he's beefed up, he's pumped up a little bit. But one thing I will say is, Jake Paul, talking about Canelo Alvarez, shut the fuck up. Don't mention Canelo Alvarez in the same breath as you and boxing ever again. It's a total different sport. It's a mismatch. Shut up about it. Right, so that's been your quick update, your quick news flash from Froch on Fighting. I'm going to go and hit the golf course in an hour or so. What's the weather like in England? I don't know. I'll check the weather out for you. Well, anyway, it's sunshine in here and that's all that matters. Me and my boy Rocco going for a game of golf. Until we get some more news, I've been Froch on Fighting. Enjoy. See you next time.